I'm here today with the Indiana Soybean Alliance with the president, Dave Lowe, and Shelia Lingle, the director of the Aquaculture Initiative side of ISA. And today I just want to talk to the members of ISA, and they've been a great long-term partner for Bell. They've done much investment into the protein sources in developing diets for aquaculture. So Shelia and Dave, why such an investment into aquaculture, and why ISA do you believe is at the forefront of being able to invest in aquaculture and the passion behind it? What does that look like?
Well, obviously, Norm, the opportunities for soybean farmers to continue to afford new areas that we can produce soybeans for fish food, that we can produce soybeans for human consumption, that we can continue to find new ways for exports and for other things. Obviously, for us, it makes more sense to have it in fish food that's going to stay in Indiana rather than Brazil sending soybeans to China. Our market is gone. So why not develop a marketplace here in Indiana, here in this state and other states, that our product is going to be used? And so it's a natural progression for us to invest our dollars, our checkoff dollars, to help facilitate and feed Indiana people and the world.
That's one.
And Norman, soybean farmers have been investing their checkoff dollars outside this country in aquaculture for quite some time. They saw the opportunities with the growing markets in aquaculture in Asia and outside this world, and also the feed conversion ratios that aquaculture offers versus some other animal proteins. You know, as we have to grow enough protein for a growing world, they saw those opportunities outside this country and have invested their own money outside this country for quite some time. With Bell, especially in this state, and 7 years ago, our Indiana Soybean Board said, why not look for this opportunity in Indiana? Bell came along as a partner right at that time too, and they set up a goal at that time to say, why not produce, fish feeds where the soybeans are? Yes, we value our export markets, and yes, we send about every other row overseas, but we've got a market here in the U.S. too, and we want to see fish feeds produced here in Indiana with our Indiana soybeans. And so 7 years ago, they started investing their Indiana dollars here in the state.
Well, we're very appreciative of that. We've seen the benefit of that, of several diets that's been able to make it to market and the development. I once heard that the number one ingredient for protein in our feed is already soybeans. And can you explain the role of soybeans in fish feed?
Basically, it's the protein component. And in fish feeds, in many species, fish meal is ground up to feed fish because fish in the wild eat fish. But to be sustainable, to look at ingredients that we can raise and feed more efficiently, we have found through the research that the soybean farmers have done that soybean meal can partially, or in some cases, and we've proved that in research we've done here at Bell, completely replace fish meal. Well, that makes a feed that's far more sustainable. Again, we grow them here. You're not feeding more pounds of fish to make a pound of fish, which makes absolutely no sense in the food chain. So soybeans has to have characteristics that allows it to be obviously a very suitable protein for animal feeds. And with the checkoff dollars, the research that the Indiana Soybean Alliance is doing, an outstanding replacement for fish meal in fish diets.
And obviously, the fishing industry has reached its limits of the ocean's fish. And so fish meal is becoming less and less available. So soybean meal makes it a great replacement. And some species of fish don't take to soybean meal quite as well. but we're continuing to develop diets and programs and fish food, as you well know, that are making those species tolerable to soybean.
And some of the, Norman, some of the research dollars, of course, that Indiana soybean farmers are investing are looking at new genetics, which they've mentioned, you know, the tolerance sometimes of soybean meal in certain species of fish aren't quite as compatible. But some of the research that soybean farmers are doing now are helping to look for markers that will allow better digestibility for the soy protein in fish diets.
That's great. Well, you know, we've had a long-term relationship for the past 7 years, and one of our goals was to get a feed mill. And now that we have that feed mill operation, from ISA perspective, what's our next step?
Well, quite honestly, we're excited. I mean, we're excited what you have done, and with the little help that we've provided soybean farmers, ISA and soybean farmers here in Indiana, and the collaborations we've had with other states, and the work that we continue to do together. We need to continue to develop, help you sell fish food, obviously, to Indiana fish farmers, that they can have their family producing a product that is sellable to whatever market they choose to sell it in. And so you have a processing plant. Shrimp is becoming very popular, and we would like to continue to help that market develop and possibly eventually get to being able to process shrimp as well. So I know that's a goal, and
That's exciting.
And I think, Norman, we can do some of the same things that have brought us to this point is look for companies like yours that can take the research that soybean farmers have invested in USDA or on pilot scale basis, and we see that it works in small trials, but what really works is when you can get it to a production scale, whether your feed mill or with your rainbow trout or with your coho salmon. It's got to work on a production scale. So where the farmers have invested in some research, we need partners like Bell to take it to production scale. And then if that feed works, then you have a feed that you can go and sell and produce.
folks like you have to have a vision, and ISA has a vision, and getting everyone together and making things work. And obviously, we try to be good stewards. In your industry, you've got a good track record, and so working together to promote agriculture, to promote products that are affordable and feasible and taste well, and obviously the dietary ingredients in fish are very, very good for the health of people today. So it only makes sense that we're involved with that. It's fantastic.
You know, that's exciting news, and it's been a great relationship. Shelia, I'd like to thank you for all your effort. Dave, thank you for all your effort.
Thank you.
We appreciate it and look forward to continued support.
Absolutely. Absolutely.